All right, folks, how we doing tonight? Welcome. This is our first time doing something like this. It's we'll call this a virtual event because it is. We wish that you all could be here, and the idea really is to be excited about Italy. I've got some guests over here that are going to be sharing some stories later. We've got a lot of action. We've got food, some recipes we're going to be doing. What else are we doing? Making drinks.
Making drinks, eating food, and talking about Italy.
This
our
is
favorite
Kelly.
things.
Oh, should I introduce myself? I'm Jason Capps, the owner and not the chef of Bella Sera. We have another Jason as the executive chef in the kitchen, cooking dinner for our group tonight. But I am a chef by trade, and I love food, travel, and Italy. So what better way to celebrate all those than by creating trips to Italy? And I did that after 10 years. And so tonight is not a sales job. Tonight is really about getting excited. You know, we're stuck in a spot right now. We can't get to Europe right now, but there's no sense in waiting. Let's talk about it. Let's get excited, and we'll share some tips and ideas about how to get there with us in May and in October. So this is Kelly, and she is going to make a drink with us first, and she's also let's call her my travel consigliere. How do you say? What do you say?
Yeah, consigliere, assistant,
I'm
like that.
the capo gruppo, so she's a consigliere, right?
I think that's it.
All right, cool. All right, so we're going to make a drink first. Everybody, if you're out there with ingredients and you want to have a cocktail with us, we're going to do, whether you got the Aperol Spritz or the Limoncello Spritz ingredients together. Let's get some ice going. All of our guests here have those in hand. How are they, by the way? Good? All right. A little bit, yeah, keep going. All right, perfect. So on this recipe, you'll see that there is a third ingredient, club soda. I jokingly say I omit that because, you know, why waste perfectly good alcohol with club soda, especially when they're lighter alcohol. So Limoncello's 27%, so just over 50 proof, and Aperol is 14. It's like a little bit bigger than a wine. So we're going to mix that with Prosecco. You want to do this? What's that? So I use my eyes better than I use my measuring devices, so I leave the jigger out of this equation. And but do it. I like a bigger glass. I'm going to garnish this with lemon. I'm going to run it around there, and she's going to use an orange. Whew. Cheers. Cheers. Let's do this. All right, ready? All right, so we're going to get at this. Salute to everyone. Thank you for coming. You guys can't see them. Oh, wait, they can see them. Yeah. Okay, great. All right. Thank you all for coming. Let me thank everybody first, not only my guests that are here tonight, but my staff at Bella Sera. They're amazing. They've been a major part of, they are the success story behind this business. Not only the tours I do, but you know, for 20 years at Greco's and Bella Sera. So their devotion and dedication to the project that we do here, which is creating great weddings and events. You're in the tent right now. This is the beautiful garden. So if you feel inclined to want to get married, you can walk right on down there. We're outside. We're 250 people strong outside right now during the governor's policies, but we'll be back inside soon. And we're excited about that, but we're also excited about doing great events here. So what are we doing?
I think we should show them your spritz picture.
Oh,
what do you think?
You guys you pull that shot up from Amalfi. It's got the limoncello and the spritz. So I think we're going to get started on the recipe here in a second. Or no, do you want to show that? Let's show that other video with Aurelia after that.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to get started on this recipe, but we're going to pepper in a couple interviews, and I'm going to introduce you to some people from Italy that I work with on my tours. They are experts in their field. We have truffle hunters, we have chefs, we have people from all walks of life that have just dedicated their time and resources and their passion to food, wine, etc. And it took me 10 years to find these people. I happen to be fortunate enough to have purchased a house in Lucca in Tuscany inside the walls. That's kind of my little home base in Europe. I wish I could be there right now. I have Airbnb guests in there, but I'm here, and you know, we're making do. So I think we're going to talk a little bit later, like I said, about the tour dates and all that stuff. But there's more than one reason I wanted you guys to be with me tonight. You know, I wanted you to not only have some recipes to cook at home. This Tuscan kale dish that we're going to get into here in a minute is a phenomenal basic dish. When I do cooking classes and here at Bella Sera with my chefs or myself or whatever, wine tastings or whatnot, I always think of local ingredients, what we can buy, what's fresh, what's local, or at least what's available at the grocery store. So, oh wait, okay, we're gonna bring up our first guest from Italy. We've got Aurelio. Aurelio is a good friend of mine. We started yet? He is, I asked him to shoot a quick video for me and he couldn't do it until the other day. You know why? Because he was cooking for you too. He's a rock star chef. He's my best friend. He was taking selfies with Bono and The Edge at his restaurant. We go there, he cooks pasta for us in a 44-kilo bowl of Parmigiano Reggiano, and he's amazing. So you want to run that?
Ciao, Jason. How are you? I miss you this year, but I'm looking for the next year to meet you again and your group. Ciao from Antica Locanda. See you next year. A big hug. I love you. Ciao, ciao.
Tuscany, then met Aurelio. He's a phenomenal guy. He's a passionate chef. He's in a little village called Locanda di Sesto. Well, the restaurant's Locanda di Sesto. It's located near the Devil's Bridge. If you've been there at Ponte Diavolo, the Devil's Bridge, just north of Lucca. He has a great restaurant, and he's a phenomenal guy. So he's one of the stops that we make, and we're gonna be doing at least a half a dozen other interviews per se, or at least friends chiming in. So let's see, what else was I gonna do? What's that? Yeah. So we're gonna get ready on this dish. All right. So we're gonna make this Tuscan kale because my guests over here are looking a little hungry. I told them to bring their appetites tonight, so we're gonna be doing that. So I'm heating up a skillet. I'm using All-Clad. Anybody else use All-Clad here? Right? Anybody out there use All-Clad? I'm giving some away later, so stand by. So this pot was made right there. You can't see the building right now, but they're dear friends of mine and our next door neighbor. I jokingly say I can hit All-Clad with a pitching wedge. I actually can hit it with the sand wedge. It's that close. So it's right next door. So what we're gonna do is get started on this dish. We're gonna get, and Matt, you wanna come in a little bit? So what I'm using is Tuscan kale. This you can find at Giant Eagle. I didn't find it at Washington store in PA here. I found it at Peters Township, Upper St. Clair has it. I'm sure Robinson does. So it's really a cabbage nero. It's basically a black cabbage. But what I like to do when I start this is I like to get small at the beginning, okay? Because those are a little bitey, those pieces, but as I go, I get a little bigger. So I don't like to waste food. I like to use the whole animal. And as we get bigger, we'll have that. And on the regular kale, the same thing. We're just going to do small at the beginning. You can take some of the stalks off if you want, but I keep it small. And then as we go up, I get a little bigger as I get into the meat of it. So this dish is not like the Greeks love their horta, or like escarole, they cook it down, they boil it first. This is not like that. That's fantastic, by the way, one of my favorites. But this is a little more crisp, or at least a little more nutritious, I would say, in that sense that we're not overcooking this. So let's get at it. So we're going to get some olive oil in here, and I got that skillet nice and hot. That's as I talk in there. So we're going to pinch our sausage. You could do one of two things. You can pinch the sausage in as you go. You can break it up. I like to keep it bulk a little bit into meatballs, if you will. Okay. And if you're buying bulk sausage bulk sausage, you could use a spoon like you see on the recipe. All right, so we got that in there. You guys smell that yet? All right, so really, I'm kind of like the watch pot never boils. We all have a tendency to want to play around a little bit with the food. The best way to get color to the food, that needs to make that sizzle when it hits the skillet. You can't, If it sits flat and doesn't make a noise, your skillet wasn't hot enough. And the hotter the skillet, the more kind of movement and speed you have to have. There's a lot to be said for having your ingredients prepped in the French culinary world, mise en place, everything in place. So having your vegetables and all your prep cut will save you a lot of time. I don't necessarily follow that rule at home all the time because I'm pretty handy when it comes to cutting up an onion and whatnot. So, so the idea here is we're going to take this and we're going to get that sausage, like you said, a little bit brown. But we're basically seasoning the skillet, and we're not going to burn that. And I could probably go another minute here, but in the essence of time, we're going to get that out of there. Okay, and then we're going to get a little more olive oil in there. And I already know that's hot because it is hot. And you hear that sizzle? All right, so I just lightly coated this. I put, by the way, we're making a half recipe. So if you have, the recipe says 8 ounces of each kale. I did basically, just so you know, this is 8 ounces total. So, and the sausage is less than a half pound. The onions, I went ahead and put all the onions in. So the idea here is, again, I want to make a batch that's good for production here. Fits in the skillet. I'm using a burner. I don't have my stove handy like I would in the kitchen or like you may have at home. The other thing is also when I cut this kale, I like to wash it, not necessarily for the pesticides, which is probably the first important reason, but also to make it wet so that it's gonna shock, which is a good, basically the word, the way you stop the cooking of garlic, onions, celery, carrots, whatever you've got started in the skillet. So when you see that word written in a recipe or somewhere, shock, you're basically stopping, you're kind of freezing that cooking process. But I also like to cook in layers. I don't like to dump everything in. There's some, culinary, some TV shows and stuff, you'll see they kind of add it. It's because of time mostly. But so here we've got this. And by the way, and I'm a victim of this often, that is not doing any good up here playing around like this or away from that flame. So keeping it on the flame is important. So if these greens aren't your favorite, I like 2 types of kale. I saw other types. I saw like a red Savoy. I think it's like a different type of variegated kale. You like mustard greens, collard greens, turnip greens, spinach, escarole. They all pretty much work. I mean, it depends on your your outcome, what you're looking for. So we're going to do that. I did a couple cloves of garlic in there. Contrary to popular opinion or thought, Italian cooking does not use nearly as much garlic as we do, or as you may think. A lot of times they may take a clove of garlic, put it in that oil, season that oil, and then take the clove of garlic out, just so you know that there's garlic in there and it's subtle, but you're not burping it up or talking about it for hours. You know what I mean? So, so I've got that. So now what am I doing? I'm going to put the sausage back in. The sooner I get these flavors working together, the better off we are. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to be shocking. I'm going to put these greens in here. So what I'm looking for, Matt, if you brought it in there, you can see that the onions are where I wanted them to be, but the garlic is just starting to brown a little bit too. So we don't like burnt garlic. Burnt garlic is bitter. So I'm going to shock this per se with this. Now this is not wet because it's 85 degrees out and it was wet a minute ago, but now it's dry. But I'm getting my kale in here. And I'm going to move this around. I'm going to kind of work these ingredients together a little bit. We can come back to this, guys. Kelly, you want to get somebody up?
Yep.
Yeah, let's get some questions. Are there questions? Does anybody have one? By the way, you guys can chime in out there. Text in, chat room, and if you have questions, Kelly will moderate and let us know. They can be, I would say anything. Ask me anything. All right, so right now I'm working this together, but remember I shocked that garlic and the onions, so it's not burning anymore. Your kale would have been a little bit wet. You hear that crackle? Okay, and now I'm gonna hit this. We're gonna, guys, let's go to another video. Who's next?
Want to look at
Hear
Alessandra?
that? That's shock.
Alessandra?
Let's do Alessandra. Okay, we're gonna bring on Alessandra. She is I'll call her my original travel colleague. She's made everything possible. So when I was in Lucca one time with my daughters, I was leaving town, and I made an Instagram post, and I had this reply to one of my hashtags that said Lucca or I love Lucca. And this woman chimed in and said, oh my gosh, whatever, Lucca's amazing. And I looked at her profile, saw her, and said, wow, it's her thing said, her profile said, creative director of myself. And I thought that was kind of cool. So we just chatted. I'm driving to the airport. I'm like, well, I'm trying to do these tours. I've been coming to Italy for 10 years. My family's from Puglia. And she said, I can help you. And so that culmination through a hashtag on Instagram allowed this dream of mine to become possible. And we did that. That conversation was 2016. The first tour was the next year. And it was an amazing relationship. She's still good friends. She helps me every year. Those of you that have met her can attest to the fact that she's on point, speaks great English, great, just a fun person to be around and organized. So, all right, let's bring her up.
Hi guys, this is Alessandra. I'm a Jason friend here in Italy. This is my own town. It's called Viareggio, and as you can see, it's a nice town on the coast of Tuscany. It's going to be one of your stops during your amazing 10 days in Tuscany, organized by Jason. I helped Jason organizing the entire tour back in 2015, and I'm so glad that it became real. So as you can see, we were able to manage properly the coronavirus situation, and we spent a very nice summertime. We were able to go to the beach, to go around, going to the restaurants, and we have a kind of normality. So what you say, I'm so glad that you will join the tour with Jason, and I can't wait to see you and to get to know you next year. Hope to see you soon.
All right. Alessandra's amazing. Like I said, she's made some connections for me that I probably wouldn't have done otherwise. I had a lot of thoughts in my head of how this was going to work, but then she finally actually filled in all the pieces. She chartered the boat that we take to Cinque Terre. We'll have a picture of that up eventually. We do a great party on the way to Cinque Terre. So during these tours, anybody that knows me knows that I don't really. We don't go to Italy to lay around, right? So the idea is I keep a steady pace, but I also take into consideration that after a couple days of card traipsing around, visiting certain places, eating a lot of food, you might need some downtime. So we bring in the massages, poolside a little bit, and give you guys options along the way. So to me, those hours of rest for me are very important because I'm pushing it pretty hard. But the whole experience to me is all about balance and finding a value, giving you what you're paying for. So, we could easily go around Pittsburgh and I could show you some restaurants here, but we're traipsing through the caves of Carrara and all kinds of things. So just to pause for a second, or you said we had a question. Somebody asked about this recipe. We're gonna kind of bounce back and forth, so bear with me. So I've got this kale cooking, right? It's basically almost done. The question was, can you substitute another type of sausage? Absolutely. I would put, if I were using banana peppers and I like heat, I would use sweet sausage to give a little bit of balance. If I'm using, so you can use hot or sweet, rope or bulk sausage, okay? Any other meat? Absolutely. Chicken is phenomenal. If you were to do a seafood like a shrimp or something, I would get that in and get it out and not put it back in until the very end. So pork chops, if you had some leftover pork chops, pulled pork, whatever. I've done it with all kinds of stuff. My daughter loves it. So anyway, we got this going. What else are we gonna do here? We're gonna put a little pepper flakes in, okay? And we're basically ready. So the idea, how are we doing over there, folks? Is that, Matt, can you get somebody chewing on the food, enjoying it? No. How is it? Good? Not something you would typically see to this exact nature in Italy, but you know, this is kind of the Western PA, you know. Now, the other addition here that we all know about is adding beans to this. So in the recipe, you see cannellini beans. You could easily add those beans in and make your beans and greens. Again, though, I don't cook this to death. I don't want this to be hammered, flat, mushy, dark green. I want it to be lighter, crisper. At this point, all I would do here was probably bring a little bit of lemon into here. I would say think outside the box, be creative. You know what I mean? If you like a certain other, I got to be honest though, that Tuscan kale is a really good texture. Probably one of the most popular or best alternatives would be Swiss chard. Bright lights, the variegated, any kind of Swiss chard is phenomenal. So we're gonna put a little bit of fresh squeezed lemon. I don't add the lemon until right before I serve it. Highly acidic, it'll turn this dark green fast. So if you want to get that nice, brilliant, deep green, add that right at the end. I would normally, if I was at my house, I've had 4-year-old Parmesan Reggiano, but we're going to put that on top of that right now, and that's it. So should we show another video? You guys, or do we want to ask some questions? Okay, all right, that's cool. So let's talk about the trips. Where are we going first? Tuscany, Amalfi? You know, I've got a handful of people, if not more, 2 handfuls of people that have been on both the tours. Whenever we had people asking me, where else are we going in Italy for the 3rd time? All right, I'm starting to think like, what about Lago di Como, Lake Como to Venice, across Emilia-Romagna? That would involve things like eating, drinking, sipping balsamic vinegar, tasting Lambrusco, Valpolicella, Amarone in the Veneto. Let's see, we'd probably have to drive some Ferraris if we're passing through Modena, right? So that's one other trip. The other would be visiting my family in Puglia, who owns a magnificent estate. They don't, another family owns it. They manage 1,000 hectares, which is about 2,300 acres of farmland. And that trip would be fly to Naples, cut across, probably go to Puglia, Sicily, and then end up in Croatia. So 12 days, something like that. But first things first, we've got Tuscany and we've got Amalfi. If you haven't done both of those, I think that you'll be inclined to want to do those first to get a real feel for the flavor. Although my family's in Puglia, my heart honestly is in Tuscany. It's kind of like my firstborn. Although Amalfi Coast, man, there's just something about sitting on the cliffs of Ravello or in Sorrento or taking a boat around Capri or whatever. So it's amazing. You want to do an Amalfi video? Yeah, show it if we got it. You want to bring up Mariana? So let me know when you're queued up. Okay, so Mariana is my she's my Amalfi Alessandra, if that makes sense. She's my consigliere in Amalfi. Another brilliant person, lovely character, family, everything about her screams just passion about events. She's a wedding coordinator and planner. Her partner, Paola, they do several hundred events a year. Ravello, Sorrento, Positano, as you can imagine, are some of the highest regarded tourist destinations for destination weddings. So they've made a very good business doing that. They know all the little pockets, the little secret side streets, the little restaurants. So I enlisted her to be our guide there to help us. So we put together tons of stuff. So let's talk to Alessandra for a second.
Ciao, Jason. We miss you. We are so sorry we can't host your group this year, but we are ready to welcome you for the next season. We want to show you a few minutes of pure beauty on an unconventional way. Let's go on our scooter. Here we are at Sanderiso, beautiful bistro in Minori. Buongiorno Carmine, enjoy this view. There are 1 million reasons to come to Italy. From tiramisu to lemon delice, enjoy this. It's simply amazing. This is an amazing ceramic shop, but not only a ceramic shop, it's a lounge bar where Peppino will make for you a great Aperol or a lemon spritz. Ready to see the beauty production? And this is the artist. Here he is. Look at this. The ceramics are such a great, colorful way to remember the Amalfi Coast. And here we are in Ravello, ready to meet Biagio, our amazing and funny cheesemaker. He's ready to show us his great cheese.
Ciao, buongiorno. Ravello.
Grazie Biagio, buongiorno. Look at this, how amazing is his production. You will taste it and enjoy this great experience with him.
Ecco voi, la mozzarella.
Enjoy mozzarella, our Italian flag.
All right, so I named Biagio the maestro of mozzarella. He's incredible. We do a fresh mozzarella class remotely on the cliff of Ravello near a place called Palazzo Sasso. It was a 17th century monastery. You literally, if you jumped out of your chair, you would go down about 300 feet. All right, and that's the setting for the backdrop as we make fresh mozzarella. Everybody gets to tie certain knots and whatnot. So a wonderful experience, as is every other part of what Mariana and Laura did. I said Alessandro, I meant Mariana and Laura. So let's ask some questions, you guys. You have any questions brewed up in your head, or you're gonna ask them a question? All right, go ahead. Let's talk to Kim and Gary Sweat.
Kim,
Microphone.
yeah, I'm gonna ask you a question. So, what was your favorite part of the trip, and who was the most memorable person that you met?
And which trip was
And
it?
which trip?
I don't even want to pick a trip because they were both amazing. I think one of the most spectacular sights we saw were the Carrara marble mines. That was just beyond what you can imagine. And we loved all of the people that we met all along the way. They just made you feel so welcome. It was great. We had some favorite restaurants, like every one of them, but the one that was the most beautiful restaurant I ever saw was Il Porto in
Via Reggio.
Reggio.
Yeah.
That was like a Michelin star restaurant. I'm
Good
not
fish.
saying it was the best restaurant, but it was the most beautiful.
Fred, am I
Awesome,
on?
good answers. Jason?
Okay, well, thank you, Kim. Gary, we're going to get to you, and other folks kind of get ready because we may come up and hit you with the question, not blindly, but we're excited. So we just want to make sure if you have something to say, by all means, raise your hand. Okay, so. All right, so let's take a pause. So my guests here have completed their greens class, or greens course, I should say, and they're moving on to another pasta dish that we created, a pasta with a penne alla vodka sauce. So they're going to kind of keep eating, and we want to encourage you to think about, as you register for tonight, you might be invited to come to this dinner that we're doing and participate as you join us on the trips. Everybody here can, I think, attest that we do a trip prior to the party, prior to leaving, and when we get back, and we like to get together. What really strikes me is, somebody, was it you, Leslie, that made a calendar? Somebody made a somebody made a calendar, and distribute them. Somebody else made a Shutterfly book. So when you're put into a small group setting with 14, 13 other people in Tuscany, and if you happen to be from Pittsburgh, we try to get together prior to, so it's not immediately strange when you get there for the first day. I hadn't done that in the first two groups, though, and somehow in all the groups there was some kind of magnetic chemistry where everybody got along, everybody had the same goals in mind. Let's eat, let's have fun, let's drink, and let's go see stuff. Kim mentioned Carrara. We don't play around. I enlist a friend of mine who's now in Spain, Alberto. He lives in Formentera, Spain. I fly him from Spain to Tuscany because his family owned caves in Carrara. So he has the inside track. So we go a half a mile into the cave to understand how marble is cut. It's a hard hat tour. And then we take Range Rovers to the top of the mountain and have a cocktail and look at the Porta Marma where, you know, the Romans made a port in Carrara just to ship the marble to Rome, and so they could build statues and columns and whatnot. So, and then we go eat lardo, and we do a bunch of other stuff that day, so which is actually aged in marble. So everything is just, I kind of group the days together. That's kind of the white day. Marble, lardo, which is the pork fat, the belly. It's basically like Tuscan butter. What are you laughing at, Diane? You know you love that. If you have some artery issues, that might not be the best bet. You know what I mean? So we have another question. What do we got? Joy asked, what kind of wine to pair with the greens? Oh, that's a good question. So I think of kind of the early part of a meal could be on the lighter side with this greens. It's got a lot of texture and a lot of flavor. I would put a nice Chardonnay up on in it. I don't think I would put a Sauvignon Blanc or maybe a bigger Pinot Grigio, but I would say a little bigger white wine start. Does that answer it? Okay.
Second question from Mary. Where's the best place in Pittsburgh to buy Parmigiano Reggiano?
You know what? I got to give my shout out to my boys. What's that? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. So the question was where to buy Parmigiano Reggiano locally. So when we do that Emilia Romagna tour, we'll go to Reggio and Parma, and we'll understand how you make these cheeses, how they make the cheeses, certain cow, certain milk, geographic, very specific. There's only 48 producers in Italy that can make and use that that label. There's 18 month, 24 month, and 46 month. Those are the three types. The question was where in Pittsburgh. Giant Eagle might be a little pricey. Talk to my boys at Penn Mac. I mean, the Sinceris do a great job. They have a beautiful spot. Go down there on a Saturday morning, go to La Prima, say hi to Sam Patty, get to Enrique Biscotti, and go get your cheese and your meats at Penn Macaroni. So, one more question?
Melinda, how do you pick olive oils for cooking or for dipping?
Oh, it's a very good question. Wow, Melinda. So Melinda says, how do you pick olive oils for cooking and or eating? Okay. I try to bend these rules a little bit. So what I've been doing and what olive oil I'm using here, and you can't tell, it's a little darker. Maybe, Matt, if you came up a little bit. See, it's a little richer, a little, I would call it greener. You know, even though we're at Everything Italy tonight, I've got really good friends, Mike and Maria Dudick from Lea Caritas, a local Greek family that put together, they go press their own olives in Greece. So what I like about their olive oil to use for cooking is their smoke point is about 425. Typical good extra virgin olive oil is going to be a little bit less than that. I don't know specifically, under 400. I still use it because I can moderate what I'm doing and I'm not frying French fries in it. Some of you may have seen I was cooking walleye the other day because I was in Alaska. I brought halibut. My buddy was in Erie. He brought walleye. I used the Greek olive oil to fry fish in, floured and fried it. So if that's the case, but there's a lot to be said for a really good, I'll go back to Tuscany and Lucca, particularly the olive oils for that to finish a sauce, finish a steak, not sauce, finish a salad or finish a steak. I like the Lucchese olive oil. So pretty big market out there. There's a lot of frauds out there. Sometimes price is a factor, meaning you see a $20 bottle of oil that's packaged really nice. It's probably a better bottle of oil. If you pick it up, particularly dark, if it's dark like this, that means it's a good oil. If it's in plastic, and I say this with hesitation, but if it's in plastic or in clear glass, it's probably a slightly more of a commodity oil made for mainstream cooking. So, all right. Thank you for that question. That was Melinda. Thank you. All right. Let's go talk to them some more. I mean, they're still eating. You guys okay on that pasta? Is it good? All right. Can we sorry, Matt. We've got a couple cameras going on. We got a great crew tonight. I want to thank also, real quick, before I forget, the University of Pittsburgh. Brett Smith is here, and he's doing this live stream for us. So we did one of these a while ago. When was that, Brett? Like July? I don't know, the end of July. It was even warmer than it is right now, but we had a good time. gave me kind of the impetus, the thought process to maybe pull this off and do this. Yeah, so I thank the University of Pittsburgh, Bob Stein, and the whole crew. The Institute of Entrepreneurial Excellence specifically. It's a one-year course program that I took for entrepreneurs. And it helped me as I was building Bella Sera in 2006 tremendously. Game changer for me. So if you know any entrepreneurs looking for a very nice certificate program 1 year, IE is your answer. So anyway, let's go ask some questions. Truffles. Wow, where did truffles come from? I like truffles. Anybody here like truffles? My daughter, I put a post the other day on Instagram asking people if you like white truffles more than black. And I think she pressed black, but she was like, I was trying to press both, you know, because she loves both. She's 14. So she's met Gina, the dog, and yesterday and done the truffle tour. Marco from Savitar, do we want to cue him up? Marco is a great guy. He provides truffles to some of the top restaurants, not only in the world, but in the United States. Some 4, 5, 3-star Michelin restaurants, I think, outside of DC, San Francisco. He's got clients all over the place, but he's phenomenal, and he's a great guy. So he orchestrates this truffle hunt in a place called Camuiano. Okay, the one day that we were supposed to go there to visit, to do like a site tour with Alessandra and Marco, we couldn't go there because the Beretta family was there. And then, so they private bird hunt there. And so this is a really kind of a high-end place, if you will, the villa and the castle. But walking through the woods and picking up truffles can't be a bad Tuesday afternoon, right? So let's bring up Marco from San Miniato.
Ciao ragazzi, buongiorno. Hi guys, how are you? I'm Marco from Tuscany, and I'm your truffle guide during the Jason tours. We are in Tuscany now, and specifically we are in Camuiano, one of our places where we are looking for truffle. This is the amazing place where we are now. And with Gina, our dogs, next year in 2021, we are looking forward to see you and with her to find the black truffle that Gina found yesterday. Amazing. And what else? Comes with Jason and with me. Ciao, a presto.
So Marco is amazing. So if you guys that were in Tuscany remember Marco, we went and sat in their place and they give you a box of truffles like this. It's like, this is $30,000 worth of truffles. And the fragrance just blows out the door. You open the door and it's just like you're overcome by it. So can we have time for a question, or we want to go to Gina? All right, we got a lot to pack in here. I told you I'd keep this at 45 minutes. It might be 55, but we're rolling along. Trying not to talk too fast. Hope you guys can understand me. Am I speaking clear? If anybody, maybe one of my family members wants to check in and let me know how that volume is. I know I have a couple cousins and aunts to keep an eye on me, and 2 daughters too. So if everybody's hearing me okay, and this is working out so far, give us a thumbs up or a check-in, please. So we've got a special one coming up here. So I have another position, as a board member for an organization that does culinary learning journeys around the world. I'm the chairman of that organization of the culinary learning journeys, and we go all over the place. And I'm talking Israel, we were in India, and so on. So it's given me great experiences. I happened to meet this next fella on that culinary journey in Tuscany, and I fell in love with the guy. Gino is, I'll let him speak for himself, but he's just a magnificent character. He's a philosopher. He's a sommelier, and he worked at a place called Verrazzano for 20 some years before he kind of branched out on his own. So he leads us on a Tuscany Chianti tour through Monsanto. You guys are tasting that Monsanto. Where's the wine? Is that, you guys, we got it? Okay, good. So we've got this Monsanto wine. Matt will pan over to the wines eventually, but we'll do that in a minute. So anyway, let's let Gino talk for a second. I think you'll love him.
And eccoci, here we are in the Giardino of Laura. Laura is the owner, and she runs Castello di Monsanto. She will be the first one who will welcome us during our visit in the Chianti.
Siamo pronti? vi aspettiamo e we look forward to meet all of you next year.
Vastità di cielo, come l'abbraccio di una madre chiude l'immenso spazio. Oh, how can I not be poetic in front of this beautiful place, landscape, with San Gimignano, little town over there, and their towers, vineyards, olive trees cultivation. This is the Chianti. I am here at Relais Marignole, where we will welcome you next year in May 2021. And here we are, Mercato di San Lorenzo, the heart of wine and food in Florence. All the farmers used to bring their food here, and from here, all the Florentines were getting their food at home. And toast to life, back again, May 2021. Ciao.
Ciao.
Like this. This is my buddy's place, Peppers and Nat. You guys ever been there? Bob Portugalo. Wait, this is even better. Look. Go see Bob's having. I just talked to him today. I said, I'll wear your shirt because I need something to breeze underneath that chef coat. He said he's having a big party on the day after Columbus Day or the day before Columbus Day. So if you guys want to visit him, great restaurant. He's a foodie and he knows how to cook good Pittsburgh Italian food. So I think we're going to ask another question. Are we ready? Ready?
Yeah, they were asked Doug and Rebecca about their trip. Which trip did you go on? What was your favorite part? What do you remember the most?
We went to Tuscany, and it's really hard for me to say what was my favorite part because I was blown away the whole time. Actually, when we got on the boat and went to Cinque Terre, and I love to cook. I love to cook, so we had this big tray of, and Leslie was there, cheese and meats. It was fabulous, and then we all of a sudden have a full-blown cooking show on the boat, pesto making.
Food that she's talking about.
And then it went on to because I love to cook. Our private time in the little house we started out with. We made pasta and did that together. It went on and on and on. And I'm a person that likes to plan trips, so I respect what Jason did. Everything was planned. Everything was beautiful. Everything had so much detail to it. Detail.
Yeah.
No, it was like hats off to you, man, because it really was planned. Yeah, I mean, we slept together in a Mercedes bus, you know, all of us. I mean, it was amazing. It was amazing.
So does that mean you're going to Amalfi?
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah.
So Rebecca, I don't know if you guys can hear me now. Rebecca's part of it. She put a group together to go to Amalfi. So you have a group of 10. So we should be leaving in about, a couple weeks? So we're doing, all right, cool. So we have 2 dates next year, but thank you very much. That means a lot to me. So thank you.
Well, you know,
I know that.
I think she made a good point how everything was planned out, which brings us to, you know, everything's included in the trip besides airfare. So you get all, 27 meals, all
more.
transportation.
Sometimes 5 meals a day, right?
a lot of wine, you know, gratuities included. So that's a huge plus too.
I think one of our clients, Pauline Perry from LA, said that the only time she went to reach for her wallet was like day 7, and she wanted to buy herself a Prada bag. You know, and other than that, you know, and anybody here can say that. I mean, walking through San Gimignano, we want gelato, we eat gelato. I don't penny pinch and do that. So I'm just go.
Of course.
Well, the first night, I think we all scared Jason because we were all drinking so much wine. It was like, holy shit. Yeah, but I mean, it never stopped. It never stopped. It never stopped. It was amazing. It was.
I had to stop at a tour. I couldn't go one day.
We'd end up staying up till 2 o'clock in the morning drinking after we got back home. It was so much fun.
While you're at it, ask Leslie what her favorite meal was, maybe, or something like that.
My favorite meal. I think my favorite meal was the Tuscany lunch that all the girls had, and we all put red lipstick on and took a picture.
Oh.
Do you remember that? And we did a kiss, and we said, everybody put red lipstick on. So we had a lunch. It was all girls. It was awesome.
Yeah. That's at Buco di Sant'Antonio in Lucca. Yeah, and outside. That restaurant's been there. There's enough copper in that place to make enough pennies for the United States for next year. I swear to God. Yeah, so that's a great meal. And the chef and the family is awesome. So, all right. Okay, so I think, thank you all for your participation. We might come back to you, so don't, just keep eating. I think there's another course coming, by the way, so just pace yourself. So I realize we're probably right at the edge time-wise. If you budgeted 45 minutes for tonight, we'll catch up soon. Ciao da presto. But if otherwise, hang tight because we got a little bit more to do. We've got a couple more people. I think we got some questions coming in. We want to showcase. Oh, we have drawings. We have a lot of stuff to do, right? All right, so let's do, next up, we want to bring a video. Salvatore. Okay, so I'm going to introduce you. This is a friend of mine that we do a lemon experience. We go into the grottos. First, we take gators up the hillside. Even if you can walk pretty healthy, it's still a hike up to the top of these grottos. So if you've seen the Amalfi, the cliffs are like this, and they terrace it down, and they have lemon groves that grow. And it's very climatic in terms of whatever the temperatures is and the rain precipitation, that's what they get. Salvatore does the ultimate Amalfi lemon experience, and he takes us through this thing. We learn how to make limoncello. We eat things that involve lemons, and the lemons there are so, I don't know what the word is. I mean, if you guys, you could eat them like an apple because the skin and you can almost feel like your skin getting better just by eating this stuff. So anyway, we're going to queue up Salvatore, and he's in the town of Amalfi, which is kind of a port town of the Amalfi Coast.
Ciao, Jason, from Amalfi. We are nice, we stay safe. Amalfi did a good job, and we are ready. We are doing all that we can do for the next season. It will be amazing because now we are waiting. We are growing the new generation of the lemons. We are ready, and we will start to next summer. And we wait you and your guests to visit for visiting our factory farm, and for this incredible experience in our lemon grow in Amalfi. The vertical climb, organic, sustainability, and a lot of things, lemonade, and limoncello, of course. We teach your guests how we made homemade limoncello in our limoncello factory to family farm. Okay, thank you. See you next year. All the best.
My man Salvatore. So, as promised, we asked that all the people that registered online, these fine folks got a chance to eat the food. I'm going to give you a chance to win some cookware from All Clad. Also, we've got some wines from Monsanto, the vineyard, and the folks you met, Laura and company, and Gino. We've also got olive oil from Lucarius, Maria and Mike. Thank you for that. I didn't tell you, but I have a 55-gallon drum in my kitchen. It takes us about a year to use that. That's our base olive oil. So that's what they use there. So, and we also have, if you want to show, do you show the last one to the right, Villa Calcinaya? Let's go with that video, guys. Let's introduce him to the Count, Sebastiano. Okay. This is his vineyard, by the way. Folks, if you've been there, 300 and some wineries in Chianti, in Greve, in the heart of Chianti. He's one of the last 3 that are still family owned. This guy's a count, meaning he's royalty. He lives in Florence, also double times as well in Greve and Chianti. And he's just an amazing guy. And wait, you're gonna laugh. Guess where he comes in the United States on a regular every May, right before we get there? He's in Pittsburgh. It's crazy, but when you see this, you'll understand because he identifies that. One of his biggest clients is in Johnstown, so he comes to Pittsburgh, and I've met him here before. To see him over there is incredible because of his, I don't know, he's such a down-to-the-earth guy, but he's so specific in the precision of what they put out. Those grapes, he does a biodynamic cooking, which is, if you're familiar, it uses the moon, the sun, the stars, the rain, and the ground to produce and pick times and everything. So amazing product. So let's talk to Sebastiano.
You're faring well in the city of bridges. We've missed you here at Villa Calcinaia this year, but we're very looking forward.
Audio glitch. Hey guys, we're doing a great job, right? I mean, you know, we're 55 minutes into it, and that was the first glitch. I consider that a success. What do you folks think? So let's do a quick raffle. I promised you surprises. For those of you that registered online, we have some all-clad and cookware and things that we're talking about. So what are we gonna give away first?
All-clad?
All-clad?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Go ahead and pick. All right, the winner is of a, let's call this the 9-inch non-stick. Let me grab that real quick. This is perfect to either cook with or smack your, never mind, children. My mom threatened me with one of these once, but she never actually went through with it. Who's our winner?
Our winner is Marilyn Morrison.
Marilyn Morrison.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So Marilyn, if you're watching, this is yours. Hopefully you're in the Pittsburgh area. If not, I guess I'm shipping this to wherever you are, right?
We'll figure it out.
I didn't think about that part. Hope you live close. Congratulations. All right, let's give away something else. We got a bunch of stuff here. Let's do it. So let's, where's
we
Sebastian?
have
Let's do,
olive oil.
Let's do a little bit of olive oil.
Okay.
Like you're going to pick,
I know.
like you know anybody, right?
I took my own name out.
Yeah, friends and family, or I should say family members, not. So let's do some olive oil.
Yep.
All right.
Do you want to talk about it first?
No, I've talked plenty. I mean, honestly, it's good stuff. I mean, let's give away the orange olive oil. Award-winning. Go ahead.
Orange olive oil is Nancy Moore.
Nancy Moore. I know Nancy from Washington. Hi, Nancy. If you're watching, this is yours. The orange is phenomenal. I mean, I would go so far as to say I might even put this on ice cream. Just saying, honestly. A little drizzle. You can use this kind of across the board on a piece of cake. You can make olive oil cake with that. So that belongs to Nancy. Let's do another one. This is going to be for the rosemary olive oil.
For the rosemary olive oil, it's Christina Hendrickson.
Christina Hendrickson. I think if I'm not mistaken, excuse me if I'm wrong, she might be in Kentucky, but I don't know that for sure. Because I think she might be from Louisville, but I'm not sure.
We can get it there.
Anyway, yeah, it doesn't matter. Either way, Christina, congratulations. We've got you some Leo Carey's extra virgin olive oil infused with rosemary. All right, couple more real quick. This will be for the, oh, wait, I don't even have any of this. I'm not sure I want to give this up. The balsamic vinegar.
We'll cut that part out.
Maria and I talked about this. Let's give it away.
Okay.
All right.
Well, it's going to Kate Barnyak.
Is that right, Kate? Kate Barnyak. Okay.
Yep.
So, Kate, this is yours. If you're logged in and watching now, congratulations. If not, we'll be in touch with you and get this bottle to you somehow. Okay. All right. Let's go to, what else are we doing? We got another piece of all-clad.
We have another piece of all-clad.
Live studio audience gets to eat food, drink wine, and have fun. This is for our viewers at home. How about we have dessert coming? It's okay. How are you guys doing? They're right there. All right, so let's do another one for, what are we doing this for? Let's do this. This will be for a non-stick all-clad. Let me go grab that as you call that out.
Okay. For this, that's a non-stick one?
Yeah, this is a D3 10-inch non-stick.
That one is Kimberly Jones.
Kimberly Jones. Wait a second. Kimberly Jones. Who remembers Kim Jones? Kimberly was on the Tuscany trip. So Kimberly is checking in from Florida. Kimberly, you're going to love this. She's a chef, and I'll say retired chef. She's now in Florida. She was in Louisville, Kentucky, but she's in Florida now. Congratulations, Kimberly. I'll bring this to Amalfi next year. All right? That's awesome. Thank you so much for watching. All right, what else we got? I think that's kind of it. Did we give away that one too?
We didn't do this one.
The big one?
This one.
That was for me. Maria gave that for me.
Oh, okay.
I'm keeping that one, honestly.
Okay.
All right, so what are we doing next? Where are we at, folks? Do we have any time left? Let me make sure I touched everybody. Guys, do we have any more? Are we queued up on Sebastiano again? Can we roll that? Okay. So we're going to bring up Sebastiano because that cut out a little bit. We're not sure if it cut out for you at home or just the folks here. We're on the downside right now. I've got to show you a quick dessert, and then we're going to go. We'll let you guys go. Good.
Good afternoon, Jason. I hope you're faring well in the city of bridges. We've missed you here at Villa Calcinaia this year, but we're very looking forward to seeing you next year. You and your friends, of course, here at Villa Calcinaia, while enjoying a wonderful glass of Chianti Classico made in a heart of Chianti with a beautiful grape named Sangiovese. And when we'll start drinking, we'll start rejoicing and forget about our troubles and worries. And most importantly, we'll forget about this blasted 2020. Cheers to you, Jason. Cheers to you.
You good? All right, so we're going to answer one last question. Thanks for all the folks that put their questions in tonight. We appreciate it, and all very good questions. What was her name? I'm sorry? She asked where we could get truffles.
Yeah, Marissa.
What's that, Veronica?
Marissa.
Marissa asked where's the best place to get truffles. Well, absolutely, Italy or France. I mean, the pocket of Italy that we visit, San Miniato, in that area, although, you know, the truffle festival is in Alba in Piemonte. It's somewhat been more the commercial, and people may argue with me on this, and I haven't delved into that area full on, but Alba would be the typical truffle capital of the world. To get these truffles, though, I'm getting ready to, I just ordered my cheese to do an event at my friend's cigar club. Shout out to my boys at Club Leaf and Bean. We're going to be doing a 44-kilo pasta wheel with pasta like we do in Italy. And I'm also bringing in $1,000 worth of truffles for that date. So was it Marissa? So get with us the next week or two because we're going to put a truffle order in. White truffles are coming into season right now. It has to be a ship fast kind of thing. So we'll put it together and we'll include you on it. But you have to be ready because it's like jewelry. It's like this big and it costs this much, right? So is it on? Okay. All right. So let me bring up one last guest from Italy. You guys scared me. So if anybody's ever watched Top Chef, if anybody watched season 17 of Top Chef, you saw this guy at the very end cry like a baby. He's 50 some years old and he's a magnificent creature, a character beyond words. Some of his favorite sayings are quotes turned beefy from philosophers, you know. So he might say something like carne diem or to beef or not to beef. And he's a friend of mine that I met one of the fourth or fifth time that I visited him in Panzano in Chianti. It was a Sunday morning. My daughters were still sleeping. And I went down to sneak in the shop and say hi. He answers his phone. He hangs out with Sting. He cooks for George Clooney. He comes to America, does Katrina relief parties with, who's the guy, Harry Connick Jr. He's a legend. He's a giant. And I encourage you guys to follow all these folks on Instagram. We're going to include their names at the end of this production. But Dario is a legend. And he put this little tiny pocket of Chianti on the map. But yet, when I called him 2 weeks ago and asked him to wish some friends happy anniversary, he stopped what he was doing and did that for us, just like he did this video. So if you're ready, go ahead and drop Dario.
Ciao amici di Jason.
Hi Jason, hi Jason's friends.
La vita è bella qui a Panzano nella macelleria Cecchini.
Life is good here in Panzano at the Macelleria Cecchini.
Vi aspettiamo a maggio.
Looking forward to seeing you in May.
Carne diem.
Ciao.
I should have let him say carne diem first, but you know, like the day that I went to the macelleria, it was Sunday morning. My girls were still sleeping, and he plays Mozart in the streets of Panzano. And it's about 8:30 in the morning, and I hear dun 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 dun, and I walk in, and he's cutting meat, and he stops, Jason, he gives me an apron. He's like, come back behind the counter. And he puts on AC/DC Back in Black, loud, like volume. And people are going to church and stuff. They didn't even flinch because they just know that's Dario. So we get to hang out. You guys that met Dario know how larger than life he is. He's a legend in my mind, and as far as anybody in the food world. And he's told me I could have a job and come work for him in the wintertime. So I might go do a stage there. So what do we have left to do? I think we showed everybody from Italy, right? Dessert. I don't know that we have time for the cocktail. I want to respect people's times. I told them it was going to be 45 minutes, blah, blah, blah. All right, for a few minutes over. So a couple folks mentioned Lucca, okay, where I kind of call home, second home. There's a place, a guy called Nilo. We do a lunch with Nilo. He's like an uncle. I call him Zio Nilo. He's slightly older. He has a great little restaurant. He makes a linguine with clam sauce. It's epic. I know when I get to my apartment, I'm usually out of something. Ice, toilet paper, something I need to, like, as I just fly in for the United States. I run down to Nilo. He's on Via San Giorgio. I grab what I need. He always helps me out. So I wanted to kind of pay homage to him. We couldn't get him on here tonight. He's a little social, social, like challenged, electronically challenged. But he's a kind soul. So he makes this dish, okay? And we're gonna include this recipe. If you guys comment back to us about whether you like this or not, what you like most, what we didn't cover, whatever your thoughts are, be honest, be candid. But this recipe really makes me think of him. I don't have time to go through the whole construction of it, but I'll tell you what it is. So if you want, Matt, if you want to look here, it's pineapple, it's apple, it's peach, it's orange, it's pear, and it's grapes. And I think I got everything. Yeah, so piña, amele, pesca, arancia, pera, just all the good stuff. So you cook it down with a little bit of Vinsanto. And look, the grapes turn into raisins. All right, so we serve this with ice cream. So basically, like I said, we'll put a little sugar on it, a little bit of Vinsanto, cook it at about, 225 for about 25, 30 minutes, maybe turning the stuff, and it basically candies the fruit. So you guys are going to have that with ice cream tonight. So, and like I said, for those of you at home, if you want to comment, let us know. I can handle the criticism. If you said this sucked, please tell me. I'll still send you the recipe for this, all right? And if you won the all-clad or any of these dishes, or any of these products, then we'll be sure to get it out to you. I'm out of breath. I think we're way out of time. Thank you so much for joining us, both of them. Can we share with them a little bit again? Thank you, folks. Say ciao, arrivederci, salute.